Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. Interlock those fingers. Bend your hips and waist to look at the heel of your opposite foot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight to one side. Concentrate and kick that other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hands at your waist. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3. Shift your weight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up your span, parallel feet. Choose one side, cross and sit on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift your weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so part of our warm-up now is being a golden cockerel, which is a definite movement in all of Yang style Tai Chi. We said that when we're a golden cockerel, our feet are apart, so you can put them apart, and they're pretty parallel rather than pointing, your toes pointing out. And we know that we can be a golden cockerel over time. We can a better job on it. But we know we need to enforce or use some safety measures. So if we're going to shift our weight and be a golden cockerel on our left foot, we're going to have to take all that weight off of our right. In doing so, and you can do it with me, but listen and watch, is that you're going to shift your weight to the left. You're going to use your front hand to center yourself and come up as that foot comes up. Okay, so simultaneous motions where you're shifting your weight, bringing the foot up and the hand up together, and this other hand sits way out to the side to give you more balance, okay, and stability. So can we try that and go, let's go slowly. When I turn around to do it, I'm trying to concentrate on my own. Your job is to concentrate, but sometimes when I falter, you know, that may cause you to falter too. So when I'm on my right and I'm on my left and you're on your left and you're on your right, it doesn't matter as long as you're incorporating the good safety measures, okay? So we're apart, good Tai Chi posture, dropping our shoulders, relaxing our knees, hollowing out our chest, chin slightly down, head straight up, 50-50, tongue on our palate. We're going to be a golden cockerel on our left, one more set, last one. And we also remember that sometimes we're really good at it and sometimes we're not that good. But don't worry about it, don't put pressure on yourself, that's just the way the ball bounces, okay? All right. We also learn to kick out. When we kick out again, our feet are away from each other, but pretty much parallel. Here again, we're using safety measures and we're using counterbalancing as well as centering. When we kick out with our right foot, we shift our weight to our left. We come up with our right hand on the outside of our cross and we follow that kick, remembering that the other or back hand goes counter to the front hand, okay? And similarly, when we come up with our left foot, our left hand follows the kick in a counterbalance rather than something like this, okay? So here we go. Feet apart, good Tai Chi posture. We're going to kick out with our right. Gather our energy, shift it all to the left, bring it up, kick out in line. Up and out. And up and out. One more set. okay? So you need to practice that at home, okay? Don't rush it, and it can be accomplished over a period of time, and it only can get better, okay? So we're not looking for a high kick. We're not looking for a long duration, but we're looking at whether you can safely do it, okay? We went on to say, and we'll work it out again a lot more in detail, our feet stance and how it applies to Tai Chi, the foundations in which it is built upon, and then add hand motions to it. We said that in good Tai Chi posture, our feet are not tight in, but slightly apart, and our knees are relaxed, although not bent, okay? Because there's no energy yet. Nothing is moving. We're just taking our posture into consideration. Our middle finger is to the side seam of our pants, and our shoulders are dropped down. Our chest is hollowed out, our butt is tucked under. And our chin is slightly down, but our glance is way ahead, okay? Out into infinity. When we want to make a T stance, we put all our weight on our right foot. So can you bear down or root down on your right? The weightless foot now then turns to become a letter, capital letter T. The advancing foot, which is the left foot, should have hardly any weight. Therefore, the right foot should bear that weight by flexing down on its knee. If you're up like this, and you can be like this with me, you can I can almost guarantee that you have too much weight on your left foot. But once you drop your right knee, your foot now becomes weightless, okay? So this is a safety measure. Hands at our waist, making sure that we have good Tai Chi posture and our cable is keeping us straight up. We said that we want to come to an L stance. It's out and to the side, and not just out. On our heel of our left foot, here we go. Out and to the side on an L stance. Weight still on the right foot. Bring that energy up, across, and around and towards the front, and 50-50 bow stance. Here's your bow, and here's your arrow. Sit back on an imaginary stool, not bring your back forward, but sit down on an imaginary stool to alleviate the weight of the front foot. Pivot now, parallel to the line of the floor or on the line. Root down, this is the capital letter T. We repeat ourselves and then go into an L stance. Turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Is your knee not beyond your toe? It should not be. To keep good Tai Chi posture, your knee and your toe should be in line. And your bow in the back, your arrow in the back should be straight but not locked in. Sit back on your imaginary stool to alleviate the weight on the right. Pivot, firm down. Bring it into a T. Bring it out into the side on an L. Move the hips and waist. Turn, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, turn, root down, T, out into the side, L, turn, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, T, L, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down, T, out into the side L, move that energy, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, T stance, okay? For the most part, people are good listeners. They're trying to make their feet move in the way that is precise and how I want it. I just want to caution you that you may have to adjust the span in which you're taking and make it more comfortable for you, okay? So I will show you what I mean, and you may or may not see what I'm getting at, but I'll try to help you. This is a T, this is an L. It's out to the side. It's not way far out and then to the side so that I'm splitting myself and then For safety, I'm throwing my Tai Chi posture off because this is too wide a gap. So you're going to have to adjust that according to who you are. T stance. For me, this is where I want it. I don't want it anything beyond that because when I turn, I'm going to have to adjust and throw my Tai Chi posture off. So we're going to have to think about where that out and to the side is good for you. Now, how you can check now is that this leg and this shoulder, they're in line with each other. If I had brought it out here, it's too awkward. My shoulder's here. I need to bring this foot back in. That's one way of checking. And then you can check to see whether your Tai Chi posture is straight up, because you can see my profile, or is it leaning towards the front? It's no good if it's leaning towards the front, no matter how small it is, because you're telling me that your weight is going to fall forward. Okay, so you want to be straight up. And this is how you can test yourself. You say, put your finger up like this. This is your cable. These are your danten points. This is your body here. So you're going to turn that rod, and you're going to be rotating your body on the center. If the center is lopsided and you're going to roll around, you're going to flop. Okay? Now, you said, but hey, how can we move? Yes, you can advance, but the cable stays the same. You can advance forward, advance side, backwards, and so on. You can even spin, and we can spin, but that cable has to be straight. So these are the things that you have to be aware of when you practice and use some visual cues like what I've just given you. We went on to say that we can hold our ball. Show me how you remember you're supposed to hold your ball. Good. So you have a ball that I like because the top hand is about chest level. The bottom hand is about 2 inches below your navel. You were also taught that, hey, we can spin our ball. It's round. And the same rules apply. Top, chest, bottom 2 inches, okay? And when we're in a Tai Chi posture, and do it wrong with me, you're gonna put your ball out in front. What happens to your shoulders? They protrude out, so this is not a good ball. If you have it too big, it makes your shoulders come out like a soldier. So right here, comfortable, okay? All right, show me 2 spins of your ball. Really good, I'm gonna watch. First, set your ball. Ask yourself, is it the right size? And then wait a minute now. You don't want to be out like this holding your ball. You want to bring in, because this is a safety measure. You want to be able to center your body. So you don't want it out. You don't want it out here. You want it almost palm to palm, and then bring it in. So just like your feet, your arms cannot come out beyond your shoulders. They need to come in, okay? And that's how you get relaxation. All right, spin your ball until I tell you to stop. Spin your ball. Sideways. No. Sideways. Okay. All right. Good so far, okay? And you know it's always easier when we're standing and not being taxed with other movements. We also learned that the bottom hand is the advancing hand. What do I mean by that? The bottom hand is the advancing hand. The bottom hand is the advancing hand. It always goes forward or above, whereas the other hand sits to the side, sits to the side. It doesn't go to sleep, remember? It sits to the side. I call this in a cock position. So there's some tension, okay? It's almost as if it's holding the top of another ball. So you can check yourselves to say, is that other hand is it holding a ball on the top by itself? All right? So we know that the advancing hand is always the bottom. We also know that the advancing foot has to match the same side of our hand. If our left hand is on the bottom, our left foot should be weightless because it's going to advance with it. It can never do like this, where the right is on the bottom and the left, okay? So let's try that. We're in good Tai Chi posture. We're rooted down on our right. We have a T stance. We have our left foot ready to go. Therefore, what hand goes on the bottom? Left, left. Size of the ball is good, rooted down on the right. We want to take an L stance. How's an L stance? Here's the L stance, right? A T stance. But when we move into an L stance, the bottom hand advances. Okay? Right now, we're just making sure it's advanced. You don't have to get into too much yet, okay? Let's try it again. T stance, root down, energy stored on our back or right foot. We want to get into an L stance and a bow stance. One more time. T stance, L stance, bow stance. This time, ask yourself, is your hand mimicking your feet? In some ways they are. Let's see how they copy each other. T stance, holding your ball. L stance, move that bottom hand, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot. We hold our ball for better balance. We're only on one foot, and so the ball is centering ourselves. After a T stance, we know we have to come out and to the side, move that ball, stretch out, bow stance. In many ways, sit back, sit down, our feet and hands are mimicking each other. When we're together on a T stance, the ball is centering us. When we're on an L stance, the ball follows us, and then it stretches out when we do a bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Do that element really well. T stance, center. When we take an L stance, the ball follows us. When we get into a bow stance, our hands spread out to give our friend the snack. Sit back, sit down on that stool. Pivot. We need our ball to better balance ourselves. All right. What do we do with the advancing hand? We wear our mitten right away. So how do you wear mittens? The mittens are 4 fingers away from the thumb. So in a loose fashion, you don't have to tighten it out. But that's how we hold our ball, and that's how we're going to present our snack. The thumb is away from the 4 fingers. When we advance, we set it to the person who's standing in front of us. But when we spread out, it moves beyond that person. Okay, let's try that. On a T stance, centering, T stance. L stance, move the ball. Advance the bottom hand, stretch out. Here's your snack, but then turn it slightly to the left. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, firm down. T and ball, bring it in. L, move that ball, advance the bottom hand. Here's your snack with my mitten on. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, firm down. T, center the ball. Advance L, move that ball, wear those mittens that were never taken off. Bow stance. So this is what we tried to do. This is our T, we root it down. If we were up, we would have some weight on the foot that should be weightless. No 2 feet can have weight at the same time and try to advance, and that would cause a stumble. Once we know that there's a weightless foot, this foot can then come out. This goes with walking. If you want to get to the tripod there, how are you going to move? You're going to shuffle and fall. Whereas if you kept your weight all on one foot, you can advance and come down. And we never think about that because that's how we walk. But sometimes when we're in a rush, we're not thinking, we have 2 weighted feet, and we fall, okay? Besides other ways. All right, so getting back to what we were trying to do, this is my ball, okay, and I don't hunch over it. I keep my Tai Chi posture because I remember that rod. I bring it in. So I said it was palm to palm, but it's slightly more than palm to palm. I'm wearing my mitten, right? This is my T stance. I'm rooted down. All my energy is on my right. I want to take an L stance. I move my ball. I want to get into a bow stance, and I present the snack there, and I come out. To test whether I'm stretched out far enough from the tip of your front hand to the tip of your fingers to the tip of the other hand's fingers, you should be able to make an imaginary diagonal. So sometimes this is referred to as a flying diagonal. If we know that well and we can visualize an angle or a diagonal, this would not work. But it has to come out this way so that the line could be drawn, okay? So these are some visuals and some cues that you can latch on to check your posture. All right, let's try that really fast, okay, so we don't forget. T stance, holding your ball. L stance, move that ball. Flying diagonal. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, firm down. Bring in that ball for balance. L stance, move the ball. Stretch. Do you have your diagonal? This time I'm going to ask you to check your posture. And everybody's good at checking themselves. T, L, bow stance. Is your knee in line with your toe? If it's not, pull it back, because you're going to fall. Do you have your diagonal? Is your left hand slightly beyond your center? Because you already gave your snack and now you're holding a form. Sit back on your stool. Where's your stool? Sit that okole back on the stool. Pivot. T and ball. L and ball. Stretch. Bow and arrow. Knee not beyond the toe. Diagonal imaginary line. Tips of the front to tip of the back hand. Sit back, plop down. Pivot, firm down, T, L, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, ball and T, L and ball, flying diagonal. Sit back, sit down. One more set to make it perfect. L, move that ball. Bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, root down. T, move the ball. L, bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, hold your ball. Okay, where's your weight? Left or right? Right, right, right. Okay, good. So, yeah. So everybody's going on their own journey. Everybody's picking up something new. Even old timers, they're polishing up their work. And in the drill, it's kind of boring, but you know what? You're building up strength, endurance, and learning to make that movement just a little bit better, okay?
I just want to go over again the step going from the T to the L. And sometimes what is verbalized, it's assimilated, and then there is performance. Somewhere along the line, the communication is not quite precise enough. So people are trying their best. I'm sure of that. But the feet don't go where the words said you should be going. So I'm going to try to get back to just having you feel how your bodies are in a given position, okay? say, if we get into a T step, I want everybody to get into a T step. And then choose either side, I don't really care. And we're going to do a parting of the horse's mane or flying diagonal. But I want to see first, you purposely just go out and just out, not out and to the side, as in watch this. Okay? Don't go forward, but I want you to feel where that foot is. Okay? And then you go down and you look and you see where that foot is. That's all I want you to do. This is incorrect. This is not out and to the side. This is just out. That's what she's saying. I don't want just out. I want out and to the side. Come back. T-step again. T-step. Get in your T-step. Now, out and to the side means you are solid here, and you are not going to move the right leg or whatever your substantial leg until such time as you put your foot where you want it. Wrong place, right place. Okay? So now it's out and to the side means when you're standing this way, it's making your foot go backwards and to the side in the direction that you're going, okay? So, and in order to not lose balance, what do? You stay home here. Because when you are substantial, you should be able to do any of this stuff. Okay? But you purposely say, I am home, I am steady, I am centered. Step out at my leisure. Still firm here. And then what happens? Then you turn. Okay? You go ahead. Let's see you do it. Yeah? You're firm here. Don't move. Out and to the side, which when you're looking this way, it's out and back. Different words, but same place where the feet should be. Okay? And you turn. And if you turn, and if you've done it properly, this foot, shoulders should be like this. If you've done it improperly, you will have done it not far enough out to the back and to the side. You will be here, and you will try to turn. And before you can turn much farther than here, your knees start to turn. That's not what you want it to do, because that makes for knees twisting. The best function for knees is when you start to do this, life gets difficult eventually, okay? So out and to the side literally means out and to the side, but you stay in your stable position, substantial position, and put your foot out at your leisure to the right place, okay?
Let's talk about what our, let's leave our feet alone a little bit. They're kind of taxed already, right? But good information passed on. You can review the lesson and dig down deeper. Let's talk about our hands now. Just give our feet a little rest. We said that our ball, we know how to carry a ball. We know how to spin our ball. We also said the advancing hand is always the bottom hand, okay? So we talked about wearing our mitten. We talked about curving our fingers because it is a round item rather than something straight, okay? So we know we're going to relax those fingertips. We also said that when we served our snack, it gives it to the person in front of us, but then this is our flying diagonal. So it's two little components. So you don't have to stop there. You can just say, here it is, and that's your diagonal, okay? Show me with one hand, just drop your left hand. Show me how this is the bottom of you're holding 2 inches below your navel. You're advancing your right foot because right hand, right foot, right? And we can set it apart because we know that it cannot be in line. So put 2 feet on the line, okay? 2 feet on a line. Like me, I have my right foot on a line and I have my left foot perpendicular. Why am I asking you to do something wrong? Everybody's not doing it because they know that the other foot should be apart. So good. But I was going to show you that it's very inconvenient. But since you folks are already ingrained and you know that on a T stance, out and to the side means a split. Let's split then. And when I asked you again to do it the way I did, nobody really jumped to it because you know it's wrong, okay? All right, I'll do it wrong, okay? Don't do it wrong. If it's wrong and in an extreme, exaggerated way, I have my right foot, which is the advancing foot on the line, which is fine. But the wrong thing is that the other foot is hindering my advancing foot because it is on a line, right? Right now it's not wrong, it's a T. But once I advance, I'm not going to have, this is wrong right now because there's no gap between my 2 feet. It's not an L stance, right? So if I'm on a T, which is correct, and I didn't bring this out onto the side, and I just went forward, I just went out, how is there going to be any room for me to turn to get into a bow stance? I won't do it because it's going to put too much pressure on my knees, okay? So maybe that was too complicated for you, okay? But here, let's do it correctly. T stance, L stance, bow stance, all right? We talked about how we're going to get our hands correctly now, okay? Holding your ball, out on an L, move the ball, advance, snack that person, and come out on a diagonal. Sit back, sit down, challenge yourself on the other side. Twist step. Hold your ball for better balance on a T. Out on an L, move that ball, snack, and split. Sit back, sit down. Pivot. Ball T. L ball, bow stance, flying diagonal. One last one, sit back, sit down. Pivot, root down, T, L, move that ball, advance the bottom hand, flying diagonal. Look at your left hand. Is your left hand doing a job or is it sleeping? Cock that left hand. Sit back, sit down, pivot, T. Okay, I'm going to do everything wrong now, okay? And you see how I'm doing it wrong. Okay, so what's wrong with this? My foot has no space. It clashes. I just went out. I didn't come out and to the side. Out and to the side is good because I need that gap. The other thing that was wrong was that I was leaning, and where's my spindle? Where's my cable? It's now bent this way. It's not going to help me. What about this hand? This hand was not going to hold a ball on the top of a ball by sleeping and going to sleep like this. So what is your brain, what is Tai Chi teaching you? It's teaching you not just to look at the advancing hand and the foot, it's teaching you many, many things to multitask, to say, am I in all good posture and form? Okay? So this is an easy hand because you say, this hand nobody's going to look at it. This is the fancy hand. We want to make the fancy hand good. The fancy hand gets special treatment, but the other hand has just as much of a job, okay? So make sure, because you want to stay balanced, and this hand's not going to do anything for you if you make it go to sleep. It's got to stay up because it's keeping you up and awake, okay? All right, so that's what Tai Chi does for you. Okay, and when a good example of Tai Chi working your core is when you do your flying diagonal. It's not just hand moving, but it is the core pulling together and stabilizing. Another way to look at it is that the hands go for the ride. The hands go for the ride. They don't do the driving. The driving is done by the core. Only when you advance your energy, you can get your diagonal. If the hands do not go for the ride, this is what it would be. It's purely hands. My hips are still this way. To get a flying diagonal, I would have to move my hips and waist this way. If I say that's the correct way, all I need to do is set up my hand and it'll go. Because I'm using my core to make that hand go for the ride. So sometimes you say, you know, I'm doing everything teacher says, but I go online to YouTube and I say, wow, what am I doing wrong? She's floating, and here I am struggling. Part of the reason why, and a good major reason, is because she's using, the performer is using her core and her chi and making her body and her energy work for her. Whereas what we're doing all the time is we're beginning our journey. But all these elements kind of work in as you get more advanced, okay? So this is what we're working for. Because you say Tai Chi should give me strength, balance, muscles, and prevent my falls. But it's the core that's going to help you. So we're slowly employing or using our core to help us to do our Tai Chi. I want to move on, okay? So that was parting of the wild horse's mane. We're learning the 10 form. Parting of the wild horse's mane doesn't come till later. But I wanted to start with commencing form. And everybody says, oh, that's so duck soup. Well, to me, it's one of the harder movements. So just without words, I want to commence, okay? So I have good Tai Chi posture. So I'll bring this in a little bit. And this is my commencing form that I want to review or go teach you. Okay? Without words, I want you to do that with me, okay? I'll send this. All right, good Tai Chi posture. Not tight in, not far away, about medium. Dropping those shoulders. One more time, no words. Okay, my turn. With words, listen to the words. Listen to how they match up with what I'm doing, okay? Oh, I didn't start, okay. All right, so I have good Tai Chi posture. I have 50-50 on each side. I know I want to move my left foot. My right foot gets heavier. I can elevate my heel, put it on its toe, lift up, put my toe down, my arch down, my heel down. My hands rotate to the middle of my thighs. I bring up something heavy like drawing up water. The hands go for the ride. At shoulder level, I make myself small. I drop my wrists, my elbows, my shoulders. I flex my knees. Okay? Can we try that? Don't worry about you're mirroring me, so I'm going to open the different way, but you're going to open with the left foot opening, and I'm going to do it the same way with you, but the opposite side, okay? All right, good Tai Chi posture, commencing form, 50-50. Slowly drain the weight off of our left foot so that our right foot is heavy, to allow our heel to come up, on our sole, on our toe. When you're real steady, you're going to lift off the ground, toe, sole, arch, heel, 50-50. Hands rotate to the middle of our thigh. Hey, I didn't say bring it up yet. All I said was what? Listen, are you listening? Are you watching? Rotate your hands to the middle of your thigh. Take a deep breath in as you elevate both hands. It's hard to do. Shoulder level, we reverse the process. We drop our shoulders, flex our knees, hands go for the ride. Okay, one more time. Dropping our shoulders. Commencing form. 50-50. Slowly drain the weight off of our left foot. Right foot gets heavier. Left heel comes up. On our sole, on our toe. Steady off the ground. Toe, sole, arch, heel. Hands rotate. They touch your pants. Drawing up that water. It's heavy, it's slow. Dropping those shoulders, tucking the wrists. Dropping your elbows, flexing your knees. Okay, so at the end of that drawing up water, you're down to about here. Right about your waist. Right about your waist, okay? I'm going to go on to teach you movement 2, and we'll review it all again. The left hand now stays to the center, and the right hand rises up higher than the left hand. We open both palms to the ceiling. We bring the back hand like I'm doing. I'm not moving my fingers or my hand. All I'm doing is it's higher than my middle or front hand. All I'm doing is using my core to bring it to my ear. Are you doing it the same way I am? I did not turn the wrist. I just brought it closer in the area of my ear. I then bring it to the center, and I slide back and I push forward. I am repulsing the monkey. Now we have to do it on the other side, okay? Middle hand stays there, back hand rises up higher, open both palms to the ceiling, centering ourselves. Bring the back hand in the area of your ear without turning your wrist. Turning, meeting both hands in the middle, sliding forward, sliding back. Again, I'll be on the opposite. Center, higher, open, area of your ear. Turn your neck, meet in the middle, repulse of the monkey. Center. Here's what we did, okay? Tai Chi posture. Alleviating the weight, opening, getting back to 50-50, rotating, don't rush, wearing our mittens, bringing that water up to shoulder level, making ourselves small, flexing our knees. Hands go for the ride. Center the front hand. Rise the other hand up higher. Glance at it, open to the ceiling. Bring the hand back in the ear area without turning any wrists. Meeting both hands in the middle, acknowledging that, sliding forward, sliding back. The other side, center the front hand. Rise up higher on the other hand. Glance at it and bring it to the area of your ear. Turn your neck, acknowledging the center, sliding forward and sliding back. Okay? So in Tai Chi, it's unique. We've never done things where it makes a difference on where the palm is, whether it's down or is it up. You can also visualize that a ball is coming from the ceiling, so the center hand, the front hand, has to be able to catch that ball. It can never catch the ball this way. So it has to be open to the ceiling. This ball, this hand, is catching that other ball coming from an angle. So you gotta be ready for your mitten, to have it on, to meet both hands in the middle. And as you slide forward and slide back, you're catching that ball yet again coming straight at you, okay? All right, any other concerns? Do you like Tai Chi? Yeah, good. I want you to like it. And I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be stressful. I want it to, to be a positive experience. All right. Okay, good job. See you next time.